Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem El Shai, Ba'ashem Harakah Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And shalom to the hopeful elect. This is Paya Allah of the James London camp. And the title of this video will be determined upon upload. This is really dealing with teaching the doctrine in its correct form, alright, which is the only form it can be taught. You know, the truth is one, but a lie is infinite. So, for example, you could say the sky is blue, alright? But then someone could turn around and say the sky is red. For that lie to be justified, you then have to present another lie. And then another lie, and it doesn't stop really, because anytime someone's questioning this thing, you have to present more and more lies in hopes of keeping it prevalent for whatever purpose you've presented it, okay? And that's why with his faith, Lord willing, through the course of this video, you know, you be edified, and that's where you'll understand that this faith, the word being in its purest form, it's imperative for your salvation. Alright, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability at that times, as it tells you in Isaiah 33. That's what's going to stabilize you from all the things to come. But for example, in the implementation of wisdom, I heard a brother say this many moons ago, and it's a good analogy. You could be out in the wilderness and there's beetles, and you've been starving for, you know, years and years and years. I mean, years and years and years, excuse me. For, you know, a elongated period of time, to the point where you're at knocking on death's door. But if you don't have the wisdom and knowledge of those beetles before you being presented with food, then you ain't gonna know that the Lord is looking out for you, all right? Because you're not privy to it, and you wind up passing because you don't know that information. It's the same thing with this faith, right? You have to know everything, all right? The pure doctrine, eat the roll, all right? You have to understand it all. And then when you go on to teach, you have to teach it all, all right? And if, you know, every man has their talent, and then to utilize their talent appropriately. And some people don't have the talent to teach, all right? Or you may have the talent, but you need to do more learning under, you know, those that lead you in the camp, all right? Those learned men, the elders of the camp that are going to basically steer you in a correct manner, all right? So anyway, nonetheless, Lord willing, you be edified. Let's get into it. This is Matthew 7:13. Enter ye into the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. All right? So the way that leads to destruction is a broad way, and there's many people within that broad way. What does that mean? That means many of the people are going to die. Just as in the time of Noah, all the people that were on the face of the earth, only 8 souls managed to be saved to be brought forth into the new world. All right? And that was it. All right? So that's an example of the salvation has to come. Verse 14, because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. All right? So that's really it. All right? Straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. Yeah, because this isn't a thing for everyone. This is for the elect. All right? As the Lord spoke, he said, though Israel be as the sand of the sea, Paul wrote it in the book of Romans, even though Israel be as the sand of sea, a remnant shall be saved. All right? So that's really what it is, man. There's going to be a remnant that's going to be saved. All right? And he was quoting Isaiah 10. All right? That's really it. There's a remnant that's going to be saved. And that remnant, they're the ones that are gonna have the secrets of this faith. But having the secrets, it means the truth, all right? Because there's many people that open the Bible, but guess what? They have a lie. So the fact that you have the secret, it means you have the truth, the true understanding of that word, of the word, all right? So it says, verse 14, because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. Yeah, because this is even personified in the book of Second Esdras, right? The 7th chapter, where basically 6 to 9, it goes into basically the kingdom, all right, being set in a broad place, wide and open. But in order to get to that broad place, you got to go through what? A narrow passage, a straight passage, all right, a straight gate, basically, a narrow way. And in doing so, getting through that narrow way, it says only one man can go at a time, and it says on one side is fire, and on the other side is a deep sea. So it's a very difficult position to be put into, but that's in order to get to that place, that straight gate. I mean, to get to that broad way, you have to go through that straight gate, and there's not many people that can have it. Why? Because they don't have the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. That's the key principle, all right? So that's why, in order not to fall into the way of those that pertain to the broad way, you have to have the correct understanding of the word, right? Otherwise, it's going to be of no point. Because to even double down on that, it says what? In the book of Second Esdras, it speaks about the world becoming barren of faith, all right? And there would become a time where it said that faith would flourish, all right? And when faith would flourish, that'll be done through who, all right? It says for so long faith should flourish, after a long time it not being declared. I mean, after a long time it shall be declared. And who's going to declare it? The Heavenly Father's chosen men, his choice men, okay? And that's why the Lord said in the book of John, the 10th chapter, how basically that he had a set amount of men chosen, okay? They were chosen from the beginning, the elect, and they were in his hand, and they can't be lost. No one can pluck them out. So if you're in the hand of the Lord, all right, the Lord is what? What is he known as? The Word, all right? If you're in his hand, that means you're engrossed, compassed about by the Word, all right? So that would mean you'd have the pure doctrine surrounding you. So if you're not in that, then that means you're going off. So I want to go to this example now of Esdras. Alright? To kind of show you these things. Second Esdras 8:1, and he answered me, saying, the Most High have made this world for many, but the world to come for few. Alright? This world that we're basically in right now is for many. Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? And that's why there's a straight gate, right? So it says, I will tell thee a similitude, Esdras, as when thou askest the earth, it shall say unto thee, that it giveth much mold thereof, whereof earthen vessels are made. Yeah, there's plenty of clay, mud, to basically make earthen vessels, vases, things of not great value. All right, they have a value, but not of great value in comparison to what. But little dust that gold cometh off. All right, and that's dust, mind you. All right. And the men of the elect, what are they compared to? A wedge of Ophir, a wedge of gold from the choice place on earth, being the land of America, pertaining back to the time where Solomon used to send his ships over there. All right. So he said that earthen vessel is but little dust is, it's nothing compared to the little dust that gold cometh of. Even so is this course of this present world. There be many created, but few shall be saved. All right. Many are called, but few are chosen. All right. It's something we understand. Again, that's why it's imperative that you know this word through and through thoroughly. Because why? There's many called, but few are chosen, and the ones that are chosen are gonna have the truth down to a T. All right. So it says, so answered I and says, swallow then down, O my soul, understanding and devour wisdom. Eat thy roll. All right. So this really shows you, all right, what pertains to salvation, the understanding of this word, Isaiah 33. All right, as I mentioned before. So it says, verse 5. For thou hast agreed to give ear and art willing to prophesy, for thou hast no longer space than only to live. O Lord, if thou suffer not thy servant, that we may pray before thee, and I'll give a seed unto our heart, and culture to our understanding, that there may come fruit of it. How shall each man live that is corrupt, who beareth the place of a man? All right. So I want to close out on this. It's the book of Ephesians 4:1. I therefore, the prisoner of the Lord, beseech you that you walk worthy of the vocation wherewith you are called. All right. So let's look up this word vocation. The word there for vocation, as you can see, is Strong's G 2821. And I'll play it for you.
Strong's G 2821. Klesis.
A calling to, a call, invitation. All right. And that's more specific where it is. You've been invited, but to what? To a feast. All right. The feast of them that are bidden to the feast. All right. But you have to have the garment to be able to present yourself in that feast. All right. That garment, the vesture. All right. That's what you need to be wearing. Okay. That garment. The dinner robe. So it says, of divine invitation to embrace the salvation of the Most High. So again, it says, I therefore, the prisoner of the Lord, beseech you that you walk worthy of the vocation wherewith ye are called. Show diligence to make your calling and election sure. All right? With all lowliness and meekness, and with long suffering, forbearing one another in love. All right? And that's in the following of the order that is set before you. All right? It's of great importance that you follow order. Let everything be done decently and in order. All right? That's how the Heavenly Father operates. So you have to make yourself walk in line with everything that the Heavenly Father's put forward. In endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. There's one body and one Spirit. All right, even as ye are called in one hope of your calling, one Lord, one faith, one baptism, one power and Father of all, who is above all and through all and in you all. All right. So that's why we ought to teach the correct way. All right. And we need to just push on. So with that, I pray you're edified to the next one. Say shalom, shalom, shalom.